Good evening, Trinidad and Tobago. If you find me tonight doing this, I want to see if I could copy this link. Manage links. Nope, that's not what that's for. If you manage to find me tonight, because nobody's expecting me, good night, Salim Muhammad, you're the first person here. I'm looking for a way this video. I can't even share it. I just opened back, literally today, opened back the studio tonight. I have no internet set up. I'm on my Wi-Fi, on my phone, just touching base. I put up that sign behind there to let you know that me coming out of politics doesn't mean that I'm not going to be speaking anymore. It means that I am no longer distracted by personalities and issues. I am no longer going to be bogged down trying to run a political party. I swear to you, there must be a way to share this. Anyway, so this week coming here, we're going to launch a couple of things. One of them is going to be a pressure group designed to get the government to address the issue of putting the Parrier report in the public space. And we're not going to let that go. That's going to be the first thing that we deal with. But I want you to know that as a full-blown activist now, I'm going back to the ground, and I'm going back to the people, and I'm going back to mobilizing and fixing things. And some of the things we're going to fix, we're going to national flour mills to find out if the price of shipping came back down, the price of wheat came back down, why didn't the price of flour come back down? We want to go to the Bankers Association of Trinidad and Tobago and get an answer as to why we have such outrageous fees in this country to access banking services. And then we're going to go to the Financial Services Ombudsman, the Central Bank Governor, and we're going to go to the courts for judicial review. Banks are taking advantage of the people in Trinidad and Tobago. We're going to address this issue of a cashless society, because the only people that benefit from a cashless society are the banks that are trying to get the 50% of the population that do not have bank accounts to put all their money in the bank so that they could charge them these fees and take advantage of them. And the government, who would have control over who could do business and who can't. They've already done that with the foreign exchange situation. They want to take it to the nth degree and twist it. We want to mobilize the people of Trinidad and Tobago to stand up against the idea of a cashless society. If Keith Rowley and his band of incompetent buffoons cannot use ATMs or ABMs or do not know how to do a wire transfer, they should go in their bank, because everything that they need to operate without ever having to touch cash again exists. And they could do that and allow the rest of us to use our cash so that we don't further give up our rights and civil liberties to the 1% contract mafia. We want to deal with the issue of national insurance and the elders who are having such difficulties accessing what they paid into and getting their national insurance pension. We want to deal with that. We're going to, of course, deal with property tax. We want to axe the tax. We want to end the tax. We want to roll back the tax. There are 500,000 homeowners in Trinidad and Tobago, and I want to get the 500,000 homeowners to put on their boots and come outside and tell Colm Imbert, find your money elsewhere. You will not be taxing my house. Leave my home alone. You want to rent out your home? Go ahead. Leave the rest of the houses alone. I am a full-blown activist now. What they thought was for my demise will create their worst nightmare. Because Philip Edward Alexander is no longer concerned with the racist nonsense that is politics in Trinidad and Tobago. Phillip Edward Alexander and his massive and powerful voice. Because I've heard that said to me repeatedly in places, parliaments and courts and other places where people talk about my massive and powerful voice. If it wasn't for my massive and powerful voice, the dead divers wouldn't be getting justice. They're going to get justice. We're going to stand up against the rate increase for TNTech. We want to find out, now that you've sold our power generating capacity to whoever. I don't know if it's your friend, I don't know if it's your family, I don't know if it's your finance. I don't know who they are. But we want to find out, what do we pay for the electricity now that you've sold our power generating capacity? We want to talk to the people about getting control of our power generating capacity again. And if you voted for a government, you see, Kamala and Keith and the PNM and UNC are bullshit artists, fronts of the contract mafia. Make no mistake. You see all the little shit Kamala, Gary and Rowley talking about crime and crime and crime talks? That's just to bullshit and distract you. You see that low-level crime with them little black hen chicken and the home invasion, all that bullshit? That is because there is a drug trade. That is because there is white-collar crime. That is because there is corruption. That is because the average person has their money stolen from them. That is because Trinidad and Tobago is run like a failed state. All that little bottom of the pile crime is not the important crime. What is a more important crime is how much it costs to transport those little black hen chickens and how much it costs to house them in the jails. $25,000 a month per person to put 10 people in a 10 by 10 room. How is that possible? We need to get to the bottom of that. Kamala, Keith and Gary not talking that. They don't talk about them thing. Them here to play and stunt and bullshit you. Well, we're going to create a massive bullshit-free zone for the three of them and isolate them with the nonsense. We're going to bring the narrative and the conversation back to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Again, I'm going to need your help, and you have to know that if you want a strong voice, you have to help that voice amplify from sea to sea and mountain to mountain. If you want to rescue your country, if you want to fix these issues, you see that price increase for TNTech? That is because government and state agencies together stole $1.4 billion. I am not hearing Kamala, Keith and Gary and none of the other alphabet soups of parties talking about those things. Some people want to give you hopes. Some people want to give you prayers. I want to tell you something. What you need to remember is that all of the power is vested in you first. You give the power to the politicians. You give the power to the government. You give the power to the opposition. The President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago exists on your power. The power of the people of Trinidad and Tobago could rewrite the entire constitution and either give more power to the president or abolish the presidency altogether. We have to have these conversations. We used to do a live video every night, and my job was to inform, educate, and empower. I also used to entertain. Inform, educate, empower, and entertain, yeah. Bella made me buy this. She said if you're going to start back doing your live videos, give them something to remember. I want you to hear me say this. The bullshit artists in politics that have ridden your back since Eric Williams, I don't know if he rested or received control of the country, but the same contract mafia that was existing when the Queen was there existed now. The people have never been liberated. We've never liberated this country. We've never really gotten independence. And it is time. 1.4 million of us, the shareholders, the owners, the inheritors of Trinidad and Tobago, it's time for us to have a say again. I want you to hear me say this clear. Phillip Edward Alexander is out of politics. But Phillip Edward Alexander's massive and powerful voice now belongs to the people. I just gave you a list of the issues that we are going to be championing. We are going to be championing the 128,500 signatures physical signatures on the petition for Andrea Barrett that is languishing in the mail room of the Parliament. We want the PNM and the UNC to get off their asses, go down into the mail room and take instructions from 10% of the people of Trinidad and Tobago. And that would have been 500,000 signatures if the PNM didn't call a state of emergency to stop the candlelight movement. But I want you to hear me say these words, because you all have seen every single play that they have played to silence my massive and powerful voice. And we are now going to use that massive and powerful voice issue by issue for results. Some will require protest, some will require boycott, some will require lawsuit. We have to stand together as one people. The government work is to serve you. The government work is to serve we. When Phillip Edward Alexander went to Shaguanas Market and embarrassed the shit out of Fike, put on the tight pants quick and run down there and fix the market. That is the power of my massive and powerful voice. And I want Trinidad and Tobago to hear me say this tonight. Every Syrian, every African, every Indian, every Chinese, every white, every red man, every Douglas, I want you to hear me from the top to the bottom, side to side, every direction, as far as the east is from the west. You will hear my massive and powerful voice once again, bringing the issues to bear, mobilizing the people. I put more people in Woodford Square for Andrea Barrett than the PNM could do on their own. They just have to spend 25 million and pay people and bring them in bus to fill that square. I fill it with candles. I want you to hear my voice. I want the contract mafia to hear me. You've made a monster. I am no longer bogged down by politics, political parties and personalities. I am going to represent the people. We are going to put our feet on the ground and we're going to deal with the issues starting tonight. Monday, we begin a pressure group for the issue of that Paria report. Nobody would know that 4 divers died in Paria if it wasn't for my massive and powerful voice, because nobody know about the man who 3 months before lose his leg, or 2 months before the explosion in Paria. Nobody know the name of the man who died in Nikwan, because Philip's massive and powerful voice wasn't there. If Tony Chowlinon had added his voice to my massive and powerful voice when I was dragging Rohan Sinanan down to Gandhi village to show him the bullshit they built, that roundabout that was killing people, Charon, Clyde the Outlaw, DJ would be alive. This is a nation awash in crocodile tears after the fact. It's time for us to put aside our divisive bullshit and stand together. And all of the people who came to me politically, who joined my party, who wanted to decide how my massive and powerful voice would be used, we're them. They have to go and do it on their own. And every single one that ever tried, where are them today? Yeah. And I want to tell you this. First day out the gate, they interfering with the live. Don't worry. We will be organizing alternate streams. You know, we have our Starlink. We'll get it back up. We will get Digicel. We will get Flow. We'll get B-Mobile. Wherever available. So we'll switch and hop from item to item. We'll have 3 cameras running. We will make sure that the information is put in the public space. I want to tell you that my vacation is over. We got 2 massive victories in 24 hours. And we plan to have many, many more. To God be the glory. We who serve a little UNC, I don't know what to call this boy, this front UNC in little lawsuits and shit, come to tell me, responding to my post, that I have done more for free for the people of Trinidad and Tobago than any politician, office holder, or activist alive or dead. I have done more. He come to talk to me. I said, brother, when you come out from under Kamla's skirt, you can talk. You have the whole UNC behind you. You have 500,000 Indian vote behind you. Vote for the UNC. I am just me. And I have done so much more. and we will do a lot more now. It is time that those 500,000 Indian people and 485,000 African people and 5,000 Syrian people and 7,000 Chinese people and 9,000 white people, it's time to get all of them together to forget the appendage and just think of themselves as Trini people. And it is time, because all of us suffering the same sufferation in this failing nation. All of us. And you see the bullshit about getting Kamala and Keith together to talk crime? That's a crime. Neither of them willing to do what is required to do when they are prime minister. When you put the two of them together, what are you going to get? When you sprinkle Griffith like shit on sugar, then what are you going to add? Nothing. They're distracting you. The minute they announce that, I told you that it's all a stunt to distract while they advantage you and raise your electricity rates and come for your property. Because that property tax is a dagger, you know. That property tax is for people who can't pay so they can take your property. Like they went to take Errol Fabian property. They didn't expect Phillip Edward Alexander would stand up for Errol Fabian and raise $1 million in a day to pay off Errol mortgage. They didn't expect to see us coming. I want you to hear me. That is the power of the people. When we put 50,000 people on the road as the Jericho Project and the Akil Chambers Justice for Children March, we send Glenn Ramadasi running to the Parliament to pass the Children's Authority Bill, to make a law, to make sure that there was a Children's Authority, because it was languishing for 12 years before there was a Jericho Project and a Phillip Edward Alexander's massive and powerful voice. I want my friends and my partners who try to come at me, to silence me. I want when they're sleeping tonight, I want this to reverberate and resonate, that my massive and powerful voice not going anywhere. Politicians and judges and lawyers and priests and police and everyday people, teachers and workers have all benefited from my massive and powerful voice. If your skin was not the right hue, you couldn't go in certain parks in this country. Security guards was coming to chase you until my massive and powerful voice. And I want it to resonate. And I want it to reverberate. I want you to hear me. All of you who know, who's been messaging me, Phil, I need help with this. Phil, I need help with that. I want to tell you, I need your help too. You need to raise the power of this massive and powerful voice. We need your help. We need a war chest of money, and we're going to do it through fundraising. We ain't just coming to a hat in hand. We're not going to the contract mafia and selling our souls. We're not going to be using money that the Financial Intelligence Unit supposed to be able to answer for where these political parties getting this money to be putting $500 in people's hands for the vote. We never hear an answer for that. Maybe somebody should write a letter. Yeah? It is time the people of Trinidad and Tobago stood up as one united, multicultural, different hues of people, every creed and race, red, white, black, green, and every shade in between. Every one of you are experiencing problems of some sort in this shithole banana republic that has been set upon by these political parasites fronting these deviants, these greedy sons of bitches that have taken our trillions of dollars and repatriated it to foreign destinations so their children can go to school with embroidered monograms on their pockets and pretend that their father and their mother are a bunch of bandit and crook. But we will fix that. If you want a better Trinidad and Tobago, be ready to stand up. We stood up for Andrea and we slowed down the deaths. We stood up for the Dangerous Dogs Act and we slowed down people getting ripped apart by pit bull. They had DJs, I remember, talking the kill rate of their dogs and who related to who when they used to be breeding these dangerous dogs. No. And I know they're loving, and I know they could babysit babies. I believe all of that. But in the wrong hands, they're dangerous. And putting responsibility on the owner ended it. And that's how you run a country. The other morning, I had to ask a lady while I was lined up outside a bank to go into the bank, and she pulled up by the bank, and she parked in the handicap spot and jumped out. And I asked her while she was skipping into the line. I said, Mama, are you handicapped in any way? She said, no. I said, no, there's a handicapped parking spot you're parking. She said, yeah, but I wouldn't be here long. I said, but the handicapped person who come in, that need that spot, going to have to park somewhere far from there and catch their ass because you're too lazy to look for another spot. And everybody watched the woman. And she walked away vexed with Phillip. She face pulled. They have no law protecting the handicapped parking spaces. It is only because I have fought for handicapped parking spaces with my massive and powerful voice that there are handicapped parking spaces. They've never yet written a law. Believe it? So people like me have to use our massive and powerful voices. I saw that same day a parliamentarian, a former parliamentarian, a former social development minister, now handicapped, having to use a handicapped parking spot. Stopped, gave the person a hug, didn't mention that when you were in the parliament, you should have fixed this. But don't worry, Phillip will fix it from outside. And one day when the people understand the power of a real champion, all these bullshit artists that today they PNM cussing UNC and tomorrow they in the UNC cussing PNM, not them kind of bullshit artists. When the day people realize the power of having a real champion inside that parliament on their side, how quickly life will turn around. How fast this country will return to being paradise on earth convincingly. We're going to start it over. We're going to start back the rhythm. There's going to be music. There's going to be tassa. There's going to be steel band. We will make mistakes. Michael Jordan said, if he hit 50% of the shots he tried, he do better than he doing now. I will make mistakes. Everybody needs to understand that. And you need to take people from the position they're coming from. 100% of my heart is pure. And all of my motives are a better Trinidad and Tobago. It has never been malice. It has never been anything else. It has always been for a better country for all of us. And now that I am clear in my mind, I told Satish Mahabir on 106.5 this morning, when I was a junior activist, I accomplished more than most politicians, most office holders, most members of parliament, most ministers. I accomplished more when I was a junior activist. And then from 2017, January 18, 2017, to a couple of weeks ago when I resigned, I was bogged down organizing, coordinating a political party that is not funded by the drug laws and the contract mafia. So every day and every week you're looking for a dollar and you're looking for a dollar and you're focused on that and you're trying to manage personalities and get this one as a candidate here and that one as a chairman there and this one to do communication. All them distraction gone. Phillip Edward Alexander and his massive and powerful voice is back now as a seasoned activist. We're going to make them fat. We're going to make them fat. Trust me, they're ready. What they thought was for my demise turned around to be for my glory. They've given me a more massive and more powerful voice, and it will not stop. I gave my father my word on his deathbed. I will see it through. Yeah, I could have packed up and leave. I bounced up a cousin of mine who owned a set of restaurants. I was sitting down in Maria's Bakery, and my cousin come and sit down and he make a little joke. You resign again? I say, yeah, I'm going to do like you from now on. I'm going to say to F with Trinidad and Tobago and just make money for myself. And he didn't like that. He didn't like that. But that's the truth. If everybody who talking about the barrier divers today, if everybody who crying crocodile tears, if everybody who doing TikTok videos to get views and shares and likes on the backs of the barrier divers had come down barrier when we were there making noise with my massive and powerful voice, we'd have got Colin Piper himself in a wetsuit jumping in there to try and rescue these divers. Trinidadians have to understand the power of a people united in common cause. That's what we're supposed to be. We need to end the corruption and the reign of the contract mafia. We need to break the gnarly hands. Somebody said, Phillip, you mustn't talk like that. That's the only way I know how to talk. Truthful and honest. And I want you to hear this. A day will come, I promise you, if you stand with me, all unfair games will play over. And plenty people who had long laugh to laugh will have long tears to cry. There must be a time when the people of this country benefits. There has never been a politician in that parliament that wasn't a shit snake or a shithong or a front for the contract mafia. And I want to tell you, we have to wash that place clean. They even used, anyway, stick a pin, because some of these are matters still being discussed. But I want you to know that my massive and powerful voice not going anywhere. And I was going to wait till Ash Wednesday. I was going to let Christmas pass and Carnival pass. We organizing, putting together the team. We repurposing the office at 14 to 17 Victoria Square, Park Street, Port of Spain, to launch the Citizens Union of Trinidad and Tobago. We're going to come out representing the people, all of the business community who can't get foreign exchange. The central bank and the Minister of Finance must answer. And the courts will make them answer. And if you are a businessman who don't want to be driven out of business because you can't get 100 US for your business, but you're watching 1%ers with goods falling off the shelf on the ground, and you can't understand where they're getting their foreign exchange from, you need to stand with me. If you are somebody who built your house or bought your house and paid your stamp duty and paid all the taxes on all of your salaries for all of your years that you paid to get your property, now that this cat bamsi of a man want to come and tax your property, if you don't want that to happen, if you think that that is unfair, you must stand with me, because I will give you my massive and powerful voice. I am not one of those fellas that will stand up and say, Massa beaten him, he must be do something wrong. I will hold the whip and say, Massa, what the hell are you trying to do, the man? That's how we need to be. All of us stand together. We must be our brother and our sister's keeper. We must make sure that we together speak with a voice so crystal clear that those who have the authority that we vest in them understand. And we no longer interested in bullshit for bullshit's sake. Don't go inside there to glorify yourself. Go inside there to serve. That is the public servant's job. And if you're not prepared to do that, hayu, pancho. Yeah? We're going to be doing things like... we're going to be taking things before the courts. We're going to be taking things before the JSC. We're going to be taking things before the parliament. We're going to be taking things before the people. A referendum of the people is the most powerful court in the land. All of the institutions of state in this country that exist on the power of the people. It is time to put the people together. David Peter saying, I will support positive change, but not another I, me. Brother, you're on the wrong listener. You're on the wrong life, brother. You're on the wrong life. You're on the wrong life. I don't know who you think you're talking about or who you think you're talking to. I'm here to tell you the power of my massive and powerful voice. And if you, David Peters, have a massive and powerful voice that you want to add to mine, bring it. And the I will become we. But until then, the man outside here in the Gael taking all the blows is I. So I can use the word, okay? And until you're ready to come and hold the whip, and to cover me, and shield me, and give me all the support, let me say I. Yeah? Trinidad and Tobago. Christian, Baptist, Hindu, Muslim, atheist, agnostic, wherever, Jew, whatever you are, come together. Religion shouldn't divide us politically. Race shouldn't divide us politically. Orientation, gender, height, weight, class shouldn't divide us politically. Politics is about serving us, water in the pipe, roads, education that works, healthcare that takes care of the people, banks that don't rape you when you put your money in the bank. We need that. We need a justice system that works. We have a literal human rights atrocity taking place in our jails because we can't seem to get our act together. But we need to, and it will happen when the people stand together. People have to stand together. We are having a Christmas fundraiser on Christmas Eve from 6 to midnight. I will be there. It will be a cocktail party. We are asking for a $500 contribution. Call Rhoda Barrett because she's going to want to talk about it. I want the $500 contribution and we want to sell thousands of tickets. We want to make sure we can hire the best senior counsels. We want to go in those courts now and stand firm. We can't be hiring small lawyers that just come out of school and facing 3 and 4 senior counsel. We must match for match. That's the theater of operations right now. You need to help me. So we are having, and I will be there, work in the room, talking to everybody, because I want to tell you something. For that $500 contribution, the difference between me and people like Rhoda Barrett is you could pick up the phone and call Phillip and say, Phil, I'm in a jam. And there are thousands of people, thousands, who've never given me $1, who've never given me anything, that will help, that I help for free. Now I'm asking, give me help. We are having on Christmas Eve a Christmas fundraiser that goes towards a consolidated fund. That will pay legal fees and other things. But we will also be able to prepare and launch massively. We have done more with nothing than anybody else. Nobody else has been able to get 128,500 signatures on a petition of any kind, much less a physical petition. I have watched big name politicians launch petitions and fizzle out and fail. Can't cross 5,000. I am telling you, my massive and powerful voice. Now you're thinking to yourself, well, okay, he back. If I need him, he there. I want to tell you, if we don't pull together, I will understand that the people of Trinidad and Tobago really do like it so. But I will make myself available now for you to see, outside of all of it, outside of the media, outside of the government, outside of the madness of race politics. We will create a space for proper representation for all the people, so that we could get, I want to promise you, if the price of shipping and the price of wheat have come down, then the national flour mills have to reduce the price of flour, and we are going to write them this week coming here. We are going to write TNT and ask them for an accounting through the Freedom of Information Act of all of the companies that collectively owe the $1.4 billion to TNT. Then we are going to research if budgets were allocated of those funds to those organizations for the electricity bill. And if they didn't pay the electricity bill with the money, and the money is no longer available to pay the electricity bill, that is fraudulent conversion. And then we go into the Director of Public Prosecutions and asking him to begin investigations into criminal misconduct into those organizations. Because that $1.4 billion that is outstanding to TNT is paying ministers' friends who have a set of trucks that drive around cutting trees, giving them contracts that not being tendered. All of this we know. We have the information. But they wanted to use the courts to silence me. So I have to be careful how we approach it now. My new job is to call ministers on the phone. I was told this. You must call the minister on the phone and say, we hear that you're doing so and so. Is that true? That apparently is a defense. I just learned that. So I will make sure I have a list of people to call. I'll call them live. So you will hear, and we will have the evidence that we call them. Yeah? You want a better Trinidad and Tobago? Stand with me. I want TNTech to give us a manpower audit. What is going on at the very top of TNTech? You think we forgetting how easy they fire poor Lisa Agard, but our ex-CEO is still the man in charge of the cyber security for TSTT that just get hacked? We need an accountant for that. Marvin Gonzalez said that there's going to be an investigation. Well, we want to know what stage that investigation reached. There's going to be a massive and powerful voice now, looking out for the people, taking note of these promises and making sure you live up to it. We will be launching we're going to be launching an online show. Maybe we will get on a television station, who knows, called Phillip Will Fix It. That you could call in live and say your problems live, and we will work to fix it. If you buy a washing machine from a company, or you buy a treadmill from a sports company, and it ain't working, and they send in people to fix it, and 2 weeks later it's spoiled again, and you want your money back and you're not getting it back, we will represent you. If they don't want to give you the money for your washing machine, if they sell you a fridge that come down to Trinidad cheap, because they bring down fridges not made for this climate, so that the fridge is freezing up, We know we have that information. Phillip will fix it. You'll be able to call in and the team will work. And in situations where the team can't get through, it'll be kicked up to me. And Mr. Peters, I will use my massive and powerful voice. I promise Trinidad and Tobago, we ain't going nowhere. We now back to our main mission. Phillip will fix it. We back to that main mission. We're going to fix the whole country without having political power. We're going to show you that the entire opposition is a band of bullshit artists who tell you that they can't do nothing because they're not in office. They're funded. They get money from the state, do nothing to represent the people. But we will show you how it's done. And those of you who just got triggered because you support the UNC, nah man, Phillip, oh God, the problem is Rowley, focus on Rowley. I want to tell you something. PNM and UNC is two sides of the same shit sandwich. And if you can't face that, come off the line. Because I want to promise you, we are going to make sure that the squeaky wheel gets the grease, regardless of the color of the shirt it wears or the texture of its hair. We need a better Trinidad and Tobago. We didn't come this far to only come this far. The best and strongest members of the Progressive Empowerment Party that were with me from the start are with me today and more. Bigger, better, stronger people. People who are now I am no longer politically aligned. So whether they're politically aligned or not, it doesn't make a difference. They could come on board with me and stand up in pressure groups and add their voices on panels. We will make a better Trinidad and Tobago. If you stand with me, I promise you, I will give you a choice that will choke them. I promise you. Yeah. Trinidad and Tobago. We're going to be a troll-free zone. Yeah? So let me just get rid of Mr. Peters for the nonsense he's talking. So we're going to be starting back Monday. We're going to be starting back our live videos Monday. Phillip Alexander 99 at yahoo.com. Cyril O. Ramadan, nice to see you, brother. Go and tell the trolls that live on your page that Phillip Alexander and his massive and powerful voice is back. Tell them to gang up on your threads and talk shit and talk smack, but hide from me in public and trip and fall when they see me in the gym. Yeah, tell them I know them, you know. They have mouth when they think nobody watching. Yeah? It's time, people. It's time for a better country. We tried it politically, and I want to tell you, the racism that exists in our politics, if we don't break that, we will never go forward. So until that day could come, right now, we will create a movement of 1.4 million people dedicated to all 1.4. You can have whichever political persuasion you want. It matters not. To join with us, you could be a member of anything. It doesn't matter. We do not ask you which political party you are aligned to. It doesn't matter. We are activists. This is a pressure group. We are about solving problems. Yeah? Thank you, Gemma. I knew you were with me from the start. I knew you never left. We have good people. We have good and powerful people in every corner of this country, in every type of industry. We deal with the best people in WASA, in TNTech, in Ministry of Works, in all of the state agencies. We can help you sort out any problem that you have. We've been doing that. No matter what the shit talkers have to say about Phillip, go on every thread and you will see a percentage of the people saying, but that is the only man that has fixed things for people. I want you to know that my massive and powerful voice that frightened them into ganging up against me, I am no longer politically active. I am now back to being an activist. It is time for a better Trinidad and Tobago. I am calling on everybody. Florentino, you see, you call me 2 o'clock in the morning to cry? I'm telling you, I'm here. Cool? So here what to do right now, Florentino. Wherever you are in the world, mobilize the Trinidadian diaspora and tell them we need to raise millions of dollars. We need to take the fight to the contract mafia, and they have no end of money. We need to be able to afford the senior councils too and the Queen's councils too. We need help financially. We need to be able to run our own media. We need to be able to get our messages out to the 1.4 million. The same way the contract mafia controls the media, we must be able to control our narrative. If you want a better Trinidad and Tobago, and plenty people know, and plenty people when they see this video, going to get excited again. They're going to get filled with hope again. They're going to feel like Trinidad and Tobago is no longer a lost cause because Phillip's powerful and massive voice is back here for the people. Hear me. Stand with me. Stand with me. Florentino, call Felicia Holder now. Call her now. 769-4590. Call her now and tell her you are going to work with Rose Fung and the rest of them and raise money in Florida and send money to that organization, because I promise you, every single one of you, and join, join. I think it's $500 or $600 to join the Citizens Union as a movement. Join us. So you'll have a card. So you'll be able to call and say, Phillip, my number. Ask all the Citizens Union members, because we launched this in 2020. Ask all of them. When they message and they call and they say, Phil, I'm having a problem. Ask them the response they get from me. How quick. They have TSTT workers. All of them benefited from one man joining the Citizens Union. One. The TSTT workers that were abandoned by the Communication Workers Union when they couldn't get their money. It is the Citizens Union of Trinidad and Tobago went and sought them out. We could talk hours upon hours, I want to tell you. This now had to be a wee thing. One thing I agree with Mr. Peters on. I say my massive and powerful voice. But my massive and powerful voice is based on everybody who come on board and help us. I couldn't give a fly's fart in a hurricane now about every other shit-talking head that have something to say. Because all the crap they talk don't do nothing for nobody. They wouldn't spend 10 cents to see our aunts dance. So I'm telling you tonight, we are going to mobilize. And if you want a better Trinidad and Tobago, mobilize with us. I can't even give you the numbers right now for Pat Jaikaran and Felicia Holder. Everybody can send your messages to Felicia Holder if you want to make a donation or to get tickets for the Christmas fundraiser. It's going to be a nice cocktail party, drinks and food and parang and carols. It's going to be nice. It's Christmas Eve, 6 o'clock to midnight. Spend it with us, hug up and kiss up good people, and then go home and hug up and kiss up your family. We can have a better country. I promise you that. We can make the sun rise. We can make Trinidad and Tobago better for all. You don't have to be living in Goodwood Park and Valsayn and Gulfview to have it nice. We want to make sure the people of Hardin Place and Cocorit and Morvan, Beetham, Labantel and Sealots get a nice life too. You can have that. And we can do it without interfering with them politically. We can pull out all the threads now. We're on the ground. Let me tell you. Somebody say, feel like a pep rebirth. We're not political. We are not political. We want everybody to feel free and comfortable to be a UNC and be a PNM and be your wherever it is, wherever they have left outside there. But come and join this strong activist movement and support us and help us. And those of you who God have blessed, especially those of you who, as Vernon DeLima says, who in the departure lounge of life, who leaving millions of dollars behind here, tell us something. If you have family living in Trinidad, give us some of your help so that we could make a better country for them. I am telling you plain as day, we are going to need strong members on board, strong volunteers. If you are a professional and you're capable, doctor, lawyer, engineer, accountant, whatever, and you want to make, especially the retirees, all of those retired public servants who have been reaching out to me, all those retired former, what you call it, people in the ministry who have to sign off on the expenses, all of you, come, permanent secretaries, all of you, come. My number is 682-2110. WhatsApp me tonight. My name is Jim. My name is Mary. My name is Sally. My name is Dan Raj. Whatever your name, my number, this is what I am good at. And I would like to come on board and help you build this movement of people for change. This is going to be Andrea Barrett's movement times 1,000. This is going to be the Akil Chambers Justice for Children March times 1,000. This is going to be the movement that put the divers in front of everybody's face times 1,000. It is time to take our space again. It is time to reclaim our place again. It is time for Phillip to fix it on a national level. And if you believe that, and if you want to be a part of that, come on board and help me. And if there are people that are better than me, bigger than me, you all know this. It's not about arrogance. It's not about pride. I am the easiest man to give up any kind of position to anybody else. If they have somebody who could do the leadership better than me, come on board. Because I just want to serve. I just want to keep my word to my father. I just want a better Trinidad and Tobago. And my massive and powerful voice, starting tonight and from Monday at 9 o'clock, we will bring back our live videos to inform, educate, empower, and entertain. We will be bringing the messages to you. We'll be dealing with the issues one by one. The cost of flour, the rates and the fees in the banks, national insurance. We're going to be dealing with the tax. There will be no property tax. We, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, must stand together and demand that there be no tax on our properties that we've already paid taxes. Double taxation and triple taxation. Taxation without representation is tyranny. That is why there was a Boston Tea Party that created the United States of America. Success leaves clues. Let us stand together lawfully, legally, democratically, one people, together for a better country. If we stand together, nobody could pull us apart. Yeah? My number is 682-2110. I'm telling you that this is just a preview. By Monday, we're going to have all the internets and all the cameras and all the everything. I have everything here in front of me, it's just to turn everything back on. So by Monday, we will be back on. But I don't have anybody's number because the screen was off there. I hope you got all these numbers. Please reach out to those people and make a donation. $5, $10, $50, $1,000, $10,000. I want to tell you something. Bet on me. You've watched me take all the hits. I was $1 million in the hole in legal fees. You watch us stand. You watched me stand. I have been dealing with 10 lawsuits and yet launched a political party, faced 3 elections. And imagine what we could have done if that money wasn't spent on legal fees, spent on our elections. But time longer than twine. And I say all unfair games going to be played over at some point. From tonight, my massive and powerful voice, I'll keep referring to that because one day I'll explain to you why I'm calling my voice massive and powerful, you know. Somebody referred to it as that in an environment where I couldn't believe that it was being used against me. My massive powerful voice, the size of my following. I've heard that repeatedly too. You have so many people that follow you. Okay, we're going to put all of that together now in one activist organization to protect everybody, to stand for everybody. We're going to show them what you meant for wrong going to be used for right. We're going to grow this into a movement of all the people. And no, we're not going to please everybody. They have some people who would stand up while they beating you under the tree and say, Massa wouldn't be beating him so if he wasn't wrong. We don't need those. They could stay with their crew. Yeah. Unite. Trinidad and Tobago, unite. When we stand together, when we stand up, what else going to happen but justice? What else going to happen but representation? What else going to happen but all of the people living what the national anthem promised? Here, every creed and race find an equal place. We must transform Morvan, Beetham, Laventille and Sea Lots into Westmoreland and Goodwood Park. Those people must get the same chances. When they go in the banks, they must get the same access to credit. And everybody in the country must be able to say that when I went in the bank, I got 5,000 US or 10,000 US, just like my Syrian partner, my Chinese partner, my Indian partner. Everybody in the country must benefit from the country. That must be the vision. See the symbol? See that symbol? See that? Burn that in your mind. That is one helping one. That's us going forward. Good evening, Chantal Mondi. That is us going forward. If you want to fix it, stand with me. All the numbers I gave you, I hope somebody took it and they could share it to all of you. We go forward from here. Until Monday, have a lovely weekend and stay safe, Trinidad and Tobago.